We'll continue with our chapter 6, that is electronic payment system. So yesterday we had completed till semi-closed digital wallet, and closed and semi-closed were the two types of digital e-wallets. And now today we'll start with a new topic, that is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is basically a vast topic to cover, but in general it is given in the syllabus, that is with some specific topics, and that is the reason we'll just go through that topic. And bitcoins is a bonus section in this book, so it's a bonus section to know that yes, this topic is considered with the electronic payment system. People in India are not so familiar with this mode of payment, so people here in this country do not follow these types of payments actually. So what is Bitcoin? The one thing, the sixth type of electronic payment mode or type is digital money, and digital money also includes Bitcoins. So basically when I talk about Bitcoins, the one thing, first question which arises after every course is, what is Bitcoin? So within a Bitcoin, first giving you just a small example, that when you type address into your browser, means suppose you type a address, that is http slash so and so.com. So what does happen? The http stands for hypertext transfer protocol. In typing an address, you are actually sending to an http command to transmit that website to you. So hypertext transfer protocol is the means by which information is spread across the or shared across the web. So through HTTP, you give an HTTP command to the browser that yes, I want to access this particular site, and that is the reason you are browsing. Similarly, when you are setting up an email account, when you create an email account, you might have noticed the letters SMTP, for example, smtp.gmail.com. That SMTP stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. So SMTP is a protocol by which we send emails to each other. What actually happens when you send an email through Gmail to say someone with Yahoo address is that Google server reaches out to Yahoo server and transmits a text file. Then Yahoo server says to its users, you have got a mail. Yes, obviously these protocols in general, now all over, what I need to sum up or conclude is why they have given these examples is, what is the use of protocol. So when we are working, we need a protocol to perform so that the task could go according to that format. That is the protocol is a set of algorithms which are being followed, or set of rules which are being followed to perform a particular task. So a protocol is an agreed system by which information is shared across a network. So agreed system, a particular system structure is being followed to share a network or to share the resources via a internet service. So after that, what comes is Bitcoin. So we'll see what Bitcoin protocol is, or how Bitcoin works on its own protocol. So Bitcoin with a B capital, in another protocol, the function protocol is to send and receive payment information. With Bitcoin, your computer reaches to another user's computer, give it some binary gibberish proving your control X number of coins at this address and want them to increase the balance at the address. So what happens is, what does Bitcoin do? Bitcoin, you now see Bitcoin, if B is capital in the Bitcoin, it is related to sending and receiving the payments. Now when Bitcoin is being performed, it reaches out to another person's computer where you want to send the money. So it will first identify the computer with some binary gibberish, that is, it will give it an encrypted by a binary value to control X number of coins, that yes, this amount has been there from this receiver, kindly increase the balance of your account from that address. So that is, if I send money to a particular person, I am just sending the money, I do not know the internal part of that sending process. That is just encrypted, send over that person, and intimation is given to the sender as well as to the receiver. So likewise Bitcoin also does one part. This is the first part. Second is when the unit of money Bitcoin protocol, here Bitcoin is in small letters with small b, as a rupee is the unit of money on the Indian banking network. So Bitcoin is a unit of money on the Bitcoin system. So there are basically two types of Bitcoining processes, or Bitcoin does two things. If B is capital, it will be for the related sending and receiving process of payment information. If B is small, then it is a unit of money on the Indian banking network. So as they have sum ups here, Bitcoin is two things: a protocol and a unit of money, an internet version of money. So basically unit of money is an internet version because we are working with digital money here, and a protocol means to send and receive the payment information. You have Bitcoin with B capital as a text. So Bitcoin is one of the first attempts to create real world currency with no governments, no central banks and no rules. So this Bitcoining process is not made with any government regulation, central bank authorities, and no rules and regulations for a particular process to be performed in Bitcoining. So Bitcoin is at its core of cryptographic truth. What is cryptography? Converting it into an unhuman readable format, and then when receiver receives it, it gives you a passcode or a password so that the receiver gets the actual data which is sent by the person, the crucial data. So cryptographic protocol it is, which is why it is also referred to as a cryptocurrency. As it's a cryptographic tool, it will be considered as a cryptocurrency. The protocol creates unique pieces of digital property. So it creates a pieces of digital property that can be transferred from one person to another. So nowadays we also have some limitations. When you go in the bank and they tell you that yes, this is the only limitation for per day that you can transfer the amount. You can do it through NEFTs, you can do it through RTGS. So certain regulations or certain conditions are being put to transfer the money over the bank accounts. So when we go through bitcoins, how bitcoins work, the second question which thing is, if bitcoining is a protocol, how it can be working. So the first thing is, bitcoins are generated by using an open source computer program. As I said, it's a cryptographic tool, cryptographic protocol. It will be obviously working with a programming, and so it's a open source programming, means anybody can use it with free sourcing to solve complex math problems in a process known as mining. Through mining, that is through digging up the data over the processes and then giving you a math solution for a particular open source program, is called bitcoining. Each bitcoin is defined by a public address and a private key. So as it's open source, everybody can access it. That is the reason it has a public address. But when a receiver is receiving it, it will have its own private key for authentication, which are long strips of numbers and letters that give each a specific identity. So private key will be a number which is a long character number or a number with a barcoding system, but specific identity for whom you want to send that data. In addition to having a unique digital fingerprint, bitcoins are also characterized by their position in public ledger of all bitcoin transactions, known as the blockchain. So these bitcoins are used as a blockchaining process. This blockchaining is a new technique which is being used for the banking transactions and the banking process. So but blockchain is also being performed through digital fingerprinting. So digital fingerprinting process is applied over bitcoining to perform a process called as blockchain. The next question which arises in my mind is, how do you buy or sell bitcoins? So is it really possible to buy and sell those bitcoins? Now you have a general understanding of what bitcoin is. Now bitcoin is not actually what you can touch and feel. You just have a protocol and people are working on that protocol. So how do you buy one? So you cannot buy that protocol. Even it's open source, you can either download it, you cannot buy it, or you cannot sell it somewhere. So fortunately you don't need to comprehend the nuances of hashes, as it's a programming with a protocol. It will have hash tables, that is the data, nodes, that is the components, and the blockchain to get involved into the ecosystem. So it is totally a blockchain means all together tied up together, so that it can perform a protocol with a system. So we cannot actually buy and sell, and there is no such fortunate answer for yes or no on these type of systems. To make transactions on exchange, you must have a Bitcoin wallet to keep your currency in. So as and like I said yesterday also, if you are using Paytm, you need a wallet. If you are using another application, you need a wallet money. So there is a certain limitation for Bitcoin also. If you want to exchange money, you need a Bitcoin wallet. Next is, what are its characteristics? So before that, what are the characteristics of Bitcoins? So characteristics of Bitcoins are, it's decentralized. Why it is decentralized? Because the Bitcoin network isn't controlled by any central authority. As it said, it has no government, no central bank, no rules. So it is not controlled by anybody. That is the reason it's decentralized. Every machine that mines Bitcoins and process transactions makes up a part of network, and the machines work together. So machines and the Bitcoining who is in that machine mining process will only be a part of it. No central authority will be there for monetary policies and causes to melt down a particular Bitcoining process. It's easy to set up. So conventional banks make a jump through loops simply to open a bank account. Nowadays you can open a bank account also with a particular process in your application, so you do not have to go in the bank and submit. So it's easy setup over the Bitcoining process is also possible because of the address loop, and as well as it has some wallet processes, and that can be just set up because it's an open source system. It's anonymous, well, kind of. Users can hold multiple Bitcoining addresses and aren't linked to names, addresses, and other personally identifying information. So anonymous means you can use this multiple times. You just don't have to go for one particular similarity. You can have different addresses, you can have different names and other personalities also, and other account information to link to a Bitcoining process. So it's not necessary every time one person will have one processing only. It can go for two different accounts also. It's completely transparent. Bitcoin stores details of every single transaction that ever happened in the network in a huge version of a general ledger called the blockchain. The blockchain tells all. So there is nothing hidden in it, as it's open source, as it has is decentralized. It is not covered by any personality, that is, does not has a central authority. So a blockchaining system gives you all the specific information what you want for a particular transaction. If you have a publicly used Bitcoin address, anyone can tell how many Bitcoins are stored at that address. If you have a public address for a Bitcoining process, anybody who is accessing that particular network can tell the Bitcoining data of your address, which is the Bitcoining process amount which is being stored in your Bitcoin wallet. There are measures that people can take to make their activities opaque here on a Bitcoin network, such as not using the same Bitcoin address consistently. So every time if you use same address consistently for using Bitcoins, that time people can assure this, and if you take certain measures or preventions for this particular thing, so people cannot use your Bitcoining addresses, that is, they cannot view your Bitcoining wallets data. Transaction fees are minuscule, means your bank may charge you fee for international transfers. Bitcoin doesn't. So Bitcoin does not charge you, as it's open source and free. So free softwares or free applications or free processes do not charge you. Bank will give, if it's a normal bank process, bank charges you with international currency transfers, but Bitcoining doesn't give you a chance to pay money for or fees for that particular process. then it's fast and speedy, that is you can send money anywhere and it will arrive in minutes later. So bitcoining process, you can just send money with a one click and that will be arrived to the receiver as soon as the Bitcoin network processes the payment. As soon as you click send, after a second of time the receiver receives it in a minute. That is, the process of network through bitcoining is very faster. It's non-repudiable, means when bitcoins are sent, there is no getting them back unless the recipient returns them to you. Yes, obviously they are gone forever. Means repudiable means non-returnable. You cannot return back the money. If the money is being sent to the person, the until and unless that other person wants to resend it, that money cannot be returned back. That is called as non-repudiable. What is the future of Bitcoin? So it is the newest and the biggest threat for banking industry today. So bitcoining can be a bit very difficult process because it is taking over all the functionings what a bank gives you generally. So it can be a threat. What emails did to postal industry 2-3 decades ago, like people used to send letters and post via for sending the crucial data over the countries or across the countries. But nowadays emails can be sent over just one click, so people are not preferring postal industry. So bitcoins can do the same thing with the banking industry. If it comes into actual this decade, bitcoins can transfer all the money, it can give you free sourcing, so banking cannot be used by any of the person. So this can be one threat for a future of bitcoins if it is used in existence. With this we have completed our topic bitcoin. Only one topic of this chapter, that is payment gateway, is been remaining, and with this we'll end up with the chapter 6. So basically tomorrow we'll end up chapter 6, that is with one topic, and then on Monday, that is the next lecture on Monday, we'll start with a new unit, that is unit 3. Thank you.